What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In the last one, you guys seen me blow my gearbox. I absolutely destroyed it because my dumb ass spun out, and in frustration I kicked the clutch in second gear, and yeah. What happened to the gearbox, Mike?
Gearbox for? Oh, fuck. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, there was plenty of awesome keyboard warriors out there, so shout out to you guys. But yeah, so we're going to start to remedy that today. So we're going to be pulling the motor and gearbox out of the car. Decided that I am going to pull the motor out as well because like honestly my whole front end just like is basically bolt on, bolt off. So it's actually easier just to pull the whole motor and gearbox out as one unit rather than trying to drop the gearbox out from underneath. Because when we put this motor in, we originally put the motor in and then tried to put the gearbox on separately. And it's really tight down there by the starter motor and the firewall, so I'm going to pull them out together, and then I'm actually going to smack the shit out of that area to hopefully get some more clearance. So in future, it actually will be easier to just pull the box out by itself. But yeah, so we're going to do that now. Mike's here, he's helping me film. At the moment, he's actually cleaning my air filter.
So it's just soaking in another lot now. That first one got most of it out, so.
Yeah, that actually looks fucking way cleaner. Time is 12:02. So we'll go by 10 past 1 basically. I want to have this motor and gearbox out. Sound good? Cool. Mike has just figured out that this turbo is very cooked. So I thought it was definitely on its way out because there's like oil and intercooler piping and stuff like that. But if I come over here, you know, a little bit of up and down or back and forth play is nothing really to be too worried about, but that is fucked. Like if you come in like closer, you can see the blades have actually been hitting their compressor housing and making those marks. So this turbo is cooked. It's good that we caught that now because turbos blowing up can literally will destroy your motor. So yeah, saved. Thank you, Mike. You saved my motor.
Oh, you're lucky I was fucking playing around, eh?
Yeah.
It also looks like you've been trying to cut yourself.
Yeah, nah, fucking my RB's been fighting me a bit. Well, that was probably the fucking easiest shifter removal ever.
It's because
usually these are cunty, but nah, that popped right out. Shit! Nah, I'm just that fucking good, eh? Yeah, we'll go with that. Right, drive shaft, gearbox, cross new motor, engine mounts, and this thing is ready to come out. Ah, fuck, it was 14s. So guys, this is the position I'm in when I'm about to throw a tantrum. I'm gonna start throwing shit at Mike.
Fuck off.
That was actually holding a lot of tension. Right. engine out. Right, so it is a couple of weeks on from what you guys just seen. I have had a shave and a haircut since then. So we finished up with getting the motor and gearbox obviously out of the car. We've taken the small box off, it's over there. And we have my big box here that we're about to put on. But before I put it on, I'm just going to swap the release bearing over. The one that's on this box feels a bit worn, and the one that's on that box is brand new. So yeah, we'll do that quickly, and then yeah, we're gonna chuck this gearbox onto the motor. I also, since we last filmed, have brought a new turbo. So that's up here. I already unboxed it. It is a brand new Garrett. It's a TA3410. It's like the older style turbo. It's a GT30 frame, and it's got a 0.63 rear housing on it, and this is capable of just shy of 500 horsepower. My tuner said that this exact turbo, he got 470 horsepower out of a 1J, so it is good. Brought a genuine turbo, decided to not get another China one, because yeah, she's a bit cooked. Not bad, eh?
I'm still surprised that it's like hasn't grenaded itself up.
Yeah, this was
The amount of like cuts it's made in the housing.
yeah, I don't know how well the camera's gonna be able to pick it up, but this, yeah, these blades are literally cutting into the housing on this turbo, so you're right, I got very lucky. Because if these fins had have come apart, that would have cooked my motor, because obviously bare metal would have gone through the intercooler into the motor and fucked it. That's not what we want. Yep, so I'm going to swap this bearing over and then we'll get this box in. Yeah, you can hear it. Oh yeah, listen to that. You don't hear a thing, that's what you want.
Fuck, you should just get a 4K. Fucking motor box, drive shaft are way less than this box.
Back needs to drop down again. Can you drop the back down a little bit? Done. So I am currently just putting the gearbox wings on, because I mean, these are important anyway, but especially because I'm not putting the top bell housing bolts in. These are very important for stability, because you know, drift car, who needs top bell housing bolts anyway? Bet you there's gonna be one of you guys in the comments who's gonna go, no, you always gotta put every bolt in, every bolt's gotta go in. No, it doesn't. Alright, so we got the gearbox on, the motor, wings are all up. So just before we put the motor and box back in the car, I'm quickly just going to change the wastegate spring, because at the moment it's got a 14 PSI spring in it, and on this China turbo we are making on gate pressure of 14 pounds. It's 360 horsepower, which for the stock Neo injectors is just about maxing them out with the fuel pressure cranked right up. So with that new Garrett turbo, it's gonna make probably the same power on less boost, and with the same PSI it would actually be making more power and too much for the injectors. So yeah, I'm just going to swap the springs out. Like I said, currently it's got a 14 PSI spring in it. We're going to put the pink spring in, which is 7 PSI, and I've already got a boost controller and stuff in this car, so when we go to get the retune, because don't know if I mentioned that, but we're going to get retuned with the new turbo. Yeah, Jeff can play around with the solenoid and we'll get the right pressure. I do want to put new injectors in, but your boy's broke and I can't afford it, and I don't want the car out of action for longer than it needs to be. Fun fact, the night before my dyno, I pulled this apart to figure out what spring was in it, and doing it in the car was a fucking nightmare. So yeah, doing it out of the car should hopefully be a lot better. So yeah, that's the spring that was in it. That's your big 14 PSI spring. We don't want that one in there anymore. So chuck all those spare ones in. So for those of you that don't know, the difference between big box and small box slave cylinders is Here. So we got big box one here, it's got the 2 butt holes on the side, on the same side. With the small box one, they're on opposite sides. So you do have to change the slave cylinders when you big box upgrade your car. So we now have the motor and gearbox back in the car. I've just put the injectors on it just so they're not flailing off in the way in the breeze. They're connected.
How many times have we done this now?
Yeah, so I went to film this outro before, messed it up, started it again, did the whole thing. It was sweet, and then realized that it was on a really just dumb camera view. So yeah, you get a good view but a shit outro now. So yeah, wiring not connected, doesn't have nuts on it, but gonna put a turbo on. Nice new Garrett turbo. So I didn't do too well at explaining this earlier in the video, but I did buy a brand new Garrett turbo from NZ Performance. I've brought a couple brand new turbos before, but this is actually my first genuine branded turbo, even though it's not the, you know, Mac Daddy G series Garrett. It's still a Garrett, so we'll take the small wins where we can. So yeah, we are going to chuck that on and see what it looks like. It's gonna be good.
What does it look like?
Yeah, what does it look like, Mike?
I don't know, I haven't seen it on there before.
So essentially this turbo is like the same size as the China one that was on it, but
just looks way nicer.
yeah. Look at that.
Look at that.
Fuck, that's good. So yeah, I was also thinking that I was going to have to get my downpipe adjusted, but Mike was playing around on the other day, and yeah, as he does. And the flange for the old China turbo is actually the same flange for this, so that works out, which is good. The only thing that I'm going to need Robbie to do with this now is he is going to weld an elbow onto this, so it'll be like a 90 that just comes off like that, and then there's a coupler that connects it to the intercooler piping. So that is pretty much all that really needs to be done before it can go for retune, which is good. I need a C-stamp cross member for this thing because I had a B-stamp, which was for the small box. I was not sure if it was A stamp that I needed, and I actually had an A. Tried it, it's not what I need. Asked someone that actually knows what they're talking about it, and yeah, I do need a C. So I've actually got one. It's coming later this week, which is good because at the moment this gearbox is just being held up by the jack. So yeah, once we get that sorted, fab work. I also need to get a drive shaft done. I'm just going to use the single piece drive shaft that I had for the 20 box, and I'm just going to get the big box yoke put on it. So hopefully that's back in a couple weeks, and then yeah, we are going to be good for tune, and then back on track. So yeah, this car hasn't been out too long, which is good. I pretty much wanted to make sure that once I got it on track, if anything breaks, I wanted to get it back out there as soon as I can, because I've spent way too much time not driving.
Especially with the COVID thing, like it's hard to even get track time at the moment.
Definitely. That'll be it for this one, guys. Cheers for watching, and yeah, apologies for my really shit upload schedule. It's been like 3 weeks since you guys last seen a video. I do want to try and get better at uploading more regularly, but I'm useless. Mike can attest to that. So yeah, stay tuned for some more content. It'll come when it comes.